What is happening, guys? COD Black Ops Kid here, coming at you with another awesome tech review. Today we have a first week look at a awesome looking case. This is the Lian O11 Dynamic Mini V2 Flow. Now, I've tested and I bought the O11 Dynamic Mini a long time ago, and it was great. It was a good video. I enjoyed making a computer in there. And today we're going to be doing just that, as well as doing a benchmark on the case and taking a look at how everything looks, as well as what it comes with. This is the white variant of the O11 Dynamic. And it's a brand new case from Lian. So first we get a box. Box comes with instructions. Think vertical GPU mount, which we are going to be doing. A bunch of screws, little silicone rubbers, grommets, clips, screws, bracket, and instruction manual. Okay, this is where the meat and potatoes comes in. PC case, nice foam. So underneath, looks like there's a huge hole. We'll have to see how that plays into it. Oh, this is the bottom of the case, by the way, in case you didn't know. And we're going to plop this back over. Put this back in the box. All right. We have some great case looking here. So, again, top, taking this off. Basically, the Lian, all their cases are very fanless. So, taking a look at the top here. Full mesh, or it's like linear, but it's also got a mesh filter underneath it. I'm not sure if you can take this off easily. It is indeed glued on there. So that's kind of a bummer, I guess. There's 3 fans that can go on top, as well as a 360 radiator. It kind of comes pre-assembled. Again, this is the white variant. It's got reverse blade fans on the bottom, so reverse blade. It has support for back-facing cables. So if you have a 24-pin, a 8-pin, or dual 8-pin CPU, and you have a motherboard that's backwards compatible, so reverse facing, you can hide all the connection cables as well as a back-slotted GPU if you have that functionality. These should just come right off. Actually, it looks like there's 2 screw here, and is it? Oh, it looks like it's duct taped. I don't want to take the tape off, but they okay. They've also put a silicone attachment to stop the glass from smacking each other so they don't break. That's a good attention to detail for shipping purposes. And it looks like they have plastic on both sides. So good on Lian for that attention to detail. This should also come off. We're seeing the meat and potatoes here. So now we can really get in there. The top of the case is pretty flexible, even with the glass taken off. So if you're using this for a test bench situation, which I wouldn't recommend, just buy a test bench. But again, so these fans are meant to blow. That pushes the air this way. It also shows the logo. They didn't do a great job with cable management, but that's not for their job to do. That's for me as the buyer to do. So I'm gonna just tuck these back here. Included with the case, it was like $100 for this case, or $105, or it was $100 with no fan. So if I guess, in my personal opinion, it'd be better to get the fans and use them. For myself, it's nice because I can use the fans in other builds, whatever. As an end user, you may not have the use for it, but my personal opinion, get the fans even if you don't, even if you're going to replace them, just to keep the fans in. So that's the front. A lot of room in here to work. GPU length is not an issue. From front to back, let me go measure that. From front to back, 16 inches. you'll have no issues getting a card in here. So it's approximately 16.5 by 15 by 10.5.
So these are the fans on the side here that are going to be pushing the air through. They seem to be sufficient enough to push air going through this mesh panel here. So let's flip this around, and you can see that there's a little square here that you can use to actually swap your front I/O to. The front I/O includes 2 USBs, a Type-C power button, and a combination headphone jack. The front I/O just comes out with 2 little screws, and you can move it to the top. I'm not going to be doing that just because I have cats, and they're going to be messing with this thing. Took this top screw off in this remaining top panel, and that's just going to hold in the and there's the little looks of the screws from the front I/O. If you want to swap that out, we're going to put the screw back in it because I'll forget. And now with the back should just come right off. You just pull on it and it comes right off. It's pretty easy and honestly feels pretty good. There's a Lian badge. This is where you can put out some 2.5 SSDs, and there's a screw at the top. So let me go grab my screwdriver. And with the screwdriver, you're just going to pull this out. And that just gets you full access to all the cables and cable management trays, things like that. And today we're going to be putting in the 650-watt EVGA or Aries Game power supply at 650 watts.
You're supposed to take this out before you put the power supply in for ease of installation. They screwed this in really tight. So put that there, pull this out.
So I probably sound different. I apologize for that. My wireless mics died, both of them. So you take the screws out from the top here, bring the power supply out so you can properly install it. Not the easiest way I would think of installing a power supply, especially in a case like this, but when size is being condensed, you have to think of ways to change the route pathing, I guess. So, whatever. Let's see here. Let's put this power supply in. Again, we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna have any hard drives in here. I might throw a 500 in there just for, giggles, I guess, right? Tab that it goes to. It's like a little drawer, and just sits right on there. Not super difficult. Back in there, you should be able to prop it back and screw it back in with the 2 screws that you removed from earlier. Again, these were put in pretty damn tight with the, whatever super strong buff dude at the factory and or machine put these in, but it's pretty in there. Also featuring in this build, we're going to be installing some cable extensions down here on the bottom. It's just got enough on it anywhere you want to go. That's certainly like stuck somewhere down here underneath the hard drive. That's not exciting to hear. Again, I would have to take these out. I love Lian leaf screws though. They feel fantastic. It's nice. So I'm going to loosen these up a little bit. And then should be able to grab it. Pull it out. Okay. They definitely tied these to holy hell, which is fine, honestly. I would have liked to have seen it like not have to rip hard drive bays out to get access to these, because now I have this one fan cable, all of your cables and cable combs, and they're very cheap, inexpensive. They work great, and
So I've gotten the cooler installed. As you can see, it's nice and plain white. When I go to put this this motherboard in, it goes below the fans, and it's already pre-cabled. So that's kind of a pain to start out with. Thankfully, Lian Li has thought of a lot of design decisions, and we can just pull this by removing 2 screws, and this whole hub just falls out. So easy access, still brings the one cable. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so now we can get the motherboard mounted, and it's perfect in there. So let's get our screws. So we got our screws back in. We take our fan assembly. It goes in just like the hard drive bay. Clips in. Oops. Clips in and then falls into place. You take those two screws we just took out. Install the screws back in. Come out. And entail. Holy fuck. And then I think this guy. Okay. It should. Oh, there's one more screw. All right. That comes out. You take. So this will go in this way. The three little side posts. This just fits inside here. This slides onto the bottom of the tray. Lift up. And then attach this way. And then screws will line up on the outside here as well. And this does support up to GPUs that are 4 slots in width. Then you just take the other available slots from the other and just reinstall it. So, pretty nice mechanic, honestly. And put this Galax 4060 on it. Jesus. Yeah, with an air cooler, a vertical mount setup for this computer is not ideal. It is rubbing against the top of this. So that might have to go out of the equation entirely. So, but that's how you would mount it. I'm going to pull this out because we can't vertically mount this thing. So what the fuck? That's not high enough. What the hell's going on here? Where's all the screws? Okay, keep going. It's not fucking fitting, man. What the fuck? Is the case fucking bent? I'm installing everything correctly. Okay, it definitely fits. But why isn't this doing that? It's just slightly needs to move down. I guess maybe I don't know. I'm gonna take the motherboard out, I guess. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install the graphics card. Okay, it's installed. I mean, it works, but the whole motherboard is not aligned on the bottom. Maybe my motherboard's just bent. I don't know. So I call that a success. I mean, yeah, that honestly looks really, really good. The only problem I've had really is that weird issue with that GPU, and I don't exactly know the root cause. And it's probably just my motherboard, honestly, if I had to take a guess. I don't think it's anything Lian Li related, so we can cross that out. I'm putting the fan mounts back in because we're at this point where all we have to do is install is get things put back together at this point. So putting the fan cage back in. It's as simple as that. That's one of the nice things about Lian Li is it's a complicated case in terms of it has many different orientations and configurations to make any computer fit, right? I think that's kind of their strong suit. Again, it leads to problems like I had, like for some reason the whole thing was just, I couldn't figure out where everything went. So, just a little strange, not too worrisome, but we get it done. So, okay. Okay, that's on. That cover gets reinstalled. Look at that weird piece of glass. That's the front panel, how the curvature is. Interesting. I think that's kind of cool. Hopefully this thing boots. I didn't even test. Oh, well, that's what I get for being smart, I guess. So, and I didn't even put the drives in for NVIDIA, so that'll be fun to mess around with. But let's see if she boots. And all right. Honestly, that is clean. Looks great. I just got to see boot on screen. We'll talk about all my issues I had with it. And then, we'll talk about my experiences. So now we're going to get some thermal testing, GPU testing, some gaming as well, and see how the thermals look in this thing. Some of my biggest problems that I had with this is the GPU did not fit if I didn't unscrew the motherboard and move it. It could be just a me thing, but typically the pre-installed screws should work with whatever I'm working with. And I didn't see, and I saw an issue with, with this system, the GPU mounting specifically. The vertical mounting also does not work. The fans, the way they're orientated, if you're using an air cooler, specifically a standard 120, basically if you're using any air cooler, you can't use a vertical GPU mount based on the way that I've seen this configured. It doesn't seem to be a easy way to mount it. And plus, if I went with that, it had to be a black GPU and kind of ruin the aesthetic of the all-white build. So yeah, that's pretty much my consensus so far with the build. Again, Lian Li's touch to to thermals. It looks great. I love the vertical fans, and I like the 5 included with it. We're going to be testing the 5 to see if it's good enough. And temp-wise, we could install 3 or 4 more fans to fully populate the case to see what the best in terms of performance could be. I mean, it looks beautiful. Put a plain white GPU in there, some plain white RAM, or just turn all the RGB off on this thing. Look immaculate. It looks super clean, super good case. It might be a little foggy. I'm keeping the protective screen on there for the case because I will be selling this system to a person, and or if you want to, we'll potentially start looking at doing giveaways on the channel here. And again, I may look at trying to vertical mount this thing, but I'm not seeing an easy way to do that. So without a further ado, let's get into the benchmarks.
Of running this CPU in this case. GPU is super nice and cold. It's actually colder than the CPU, or than the GPU or the CPU, which is just telling you how the improvements to the design specifically. Jesus. Fucking get out of here, Dr. Pepper. Fucking douchebag. I'm fucking lasering right now.
This thing is actually really great. The build quality is fantastic. It would probably benefit a little bit from having an exhaust because it's just kind of having the hot air in this case with the included fans that are already in it already. You could again invest at least, I would say maybe like $30 into getting some fans, and they could be RGB, one here and then three. They don't need to be reverse blade fans, as they're going to be blowing air out this way and out through the top. It would help a little bit with performance, especially with thermals. But this computer is solid. It games really well. It performed really well in our tests. The air cooler actually withheld a lot of the things. And in our testing, it did really, really well. And so not only can I recommend this case, under certain conditions. I had some weird issues installing the motherboard, and again, that's highlighted in this video. And that's, I think, a personal problem for me, whether or not I didn't align the screws, or maybe something went weird somewhere. Other than that, the computer is phenomenal. It games well. It does really well. It overclocks the CPU and stays at a decent temperature around 70 degrees while gaming. And it performed really well. So yeah, let me know if you guys want me to see another case review. Ask more questions if you want about it, if you want specific specifications, or any other weird phenomenons. But yeah, no, this case definitely gets a seal of approval. Definitely does really well, and have to do more stuff at case reviews in the future. So if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, let me know what you think. I can always improve on some stuff, and I want to get your guys' feedback. It definitely helps out the channel as well. So feel free to comment what you guys liked about it, comment what you didn't like about it. Let me know why, and I'll talk to you guys in the very next video. Peace out.